ubuntu-radio.com. You catch us on the internet on www.ubuntu-radio.com. It's a radio station owned by the Department of International Relations and Cooperation. We obviously broadcast worldwide, hence we are on the net. My show is weekdays between 9 and 10 in the mornings. What is my show about? My show is about bridging the gap between South Africa, the continent, and the rest of the world. And what do we discuss on the show? We pretty much cut across all the pertinent issues of the day. We look at the economics, we look at trade and industry, we look at social issues, we look at foreign policy, we look at economic diplomacy. So it's pretty much all encompassing. Radio has a huge role to play in terms of bridging the gap between us, as I've highlighted, and the rest of the continent. There are just so many opportunities that reside and that lie that have not been exploited economically, that is, between us, South Africa, and the rest of the continent, and of course the rest of the world. Secondly, radio has a huge role to play in terms of bringing about social cohesion. Radio has a huge role to play in terms of helping when it comes to South Africa. Radio has a huge role to play in terms of helping South Africa to heal. We're a wounded society. We come from a system that oppressed us for over 300 years. And the idea of thinking that within 20 years all has been fixed and all is great is a fallacy. Yes, of course, the government of the African National Congress has done a sterling job in helping us deal with that transition of moving from the apartheid to now. They've introduced such phenomenal policies that have helped South Africans to strive, that have helped South Africans to somehow have a footprint in the economy, that have helped to build or rather restore the dignity of South Africans. But a whole lot more ought to be done. And I do believe that radio can play a huge role in that. I'm very disappointed with what I regard as black radio. Black radio has not played that role. The Metro FMs of this world have dropped the ball. It's about the DJs and where they are. It's about their lifestyle. It's about Beyonce's music video. It's about Chris Brown. It's about Rihanna. And when you look at a radio station like Metro FM, and I've served Metro FM for 4 years, I believe that Metro FM has a much bigger role to play because they enjoy the monopoly in terms of who the black or where the black listeners are. And that's the radio station that should be pushing the social agenda. That's the radio station that should be pushing the Pan-Africanist agenda. PBS radio stations, those are your public broadcast stations, Ukhozi FM, etc., etc., etc. It is unfortunate that they are too falling under that. They're trying to be cool, they're trying to be funky at the expense of the black agenda, at the expense of the African agenda. This bullshit and this bull nonsense that they keep on playing, this American music, is nonsense that should actually come to an end. We should have a situation in South Africa where South African music, no matter what the quality, should have its fair chance under the sun. It should be 80% South African music, it should be 80% South African content. I've traveled the world quite extensively, and nowhere in the world do they play South African music. Go to America, they don't give a damn about Thandiswa Mazwai, they don't give a damn about Mikasa, they don't give a damn about Zahara, they don't give a damn about Simphiwe Dana. While we obsess about Rihanna, while we obsess about Beyonce, while we obsess about Chris Brown, it doesn't make sense to me. South African radio needs to have a conscience. South African radio ought to understand that it has a role to play in building and growing the entertainment industry. It has a role to play in terms of growing and building the socio-economic structures of South Africa. And it can only start doing that by being patriotic and patriotic and patriotic.